La situación de Venezuela en las últimas 48 horas ha cambiado radicalmente. Después de la gran
The situation of Venezuela in the last 48 hours has changed radically after the great defeat of the Chavez regime in the OAS, where there are 24 countries that now want a change for that country, that wants democratic election as soon as possible, the release of political prisoners, and respect for the National Assembly. Chavez regime responded in an absurd way, leaving no doubts on if the regime was dictatorial, seizing the National Assembly power and taking them over either in the same court or any other organ in the state is already an institutional corp, an open court defeat, as it happened in Peru when Fujimori was in office. Just as here in September 1989, Noriega, after having lost the election, cancelled the election and annulled them. And the only thing reflect is that we are arriving at the end of the dictatorial regime, that when these things happen, by the experience that we have lived, simply show us that they are coming to an end.
Cuando estas cosas ocurren, por la experiencia que hemos vivido, simplemente nos demuestra que están llegando a su fin.
They go crazy, feel concerned, and do things like those carried out by the Venezuelan Supreme Court, presided over by a condemned criminal such as Michael Moreno, who was convicted for murder, sentenced to serve years in prison, and now he has the highest juridic body in Venezuela. What can we expect from those who now rule Venezuela, if not to continue to lead the country to a cliff?
Venezuela, ¿qué podemos esperar de quienes hoy gobiernan Venezuela, sino de seguir llevando al país hacia un despeñadero?
Today Venezuela is facing the eyes of all Venezuelans. Even the Chavistas cannot lead their country to a better path. Maintain the military and civil regime of Nicolas Maduro, and the army is going to lead the country at the edge of a cliff, and we are certain that there will be popular election, especially any day we may draw with a military assault carried out by the youth officer who must be filled up with the commanders of the army that just have become rich and support an incapable, inept, and ideological frustrated government. The OAS have done something. To the meeting held on Monday, where the foreign minister of Venezuela spoke, and on Thursday, with the participation of all, it triggered this negative reaction of the regime. I believe that the OAS in the next session, which will probably be the next week, will have to be strong, and it should not surprise us that more than 20 countries will join if they have any doubt that we were facing a dictatorship. It has been confirmed. I believe that the OAS is going to help. The European Parliament has already manifested itself. The whole world is manifesting itself, and that is very positive to struggle the democracy in Venezuela. I have criticized the position of the government of Panama because, despite all that happened, it continued with the repeat issue of dialogue. I think that the only dialogue that the rules America should accept is where they can tell Nicolas Maduro, your time is over, you destroyed the country, and the good things to do for the saving democracy in Venezuela is that you and your people leave. To speak of this stage of dialogue when all these instances have already been exhausted, even when the Pope Francis, where Maduro's regime has mocked Allah, and it was also said by the Pope, is a waste of time. Now we must insulate Venezuela diplomatically, and I'll suggest that the government of Panama follow the same path of the other government as that of Peru, which have withdrawn its ambassador as the protest against what it happened in Venezuela.
El lunes estamos pautando conjunto con venezolanos,
On Monday, along with the Venezuelan and other Panamanian civic and political leaders, we are conducting a press conference to show our support for the democratic struggle in Venezuela and give our opinion on what the government of Panama must do over the crisis in one of the countries that always have been marked by the brotherhood with our country.